Well, the evening commute is just hitting full stride across the region, and if you're in that traffic every single night this time of day, you know that it's not a stretch to say it can be a nightmare around here sometimes. So to get around all of that, a lot of folks here are trying to just get away from the roads and get onto the rails, and that brings its own set of problems. But now we're understanding now that it could be that 3 of the rail systems in the region might have some major issues, 2 of them possibly shutting down, 1 of them looking ready to make some major shortages, some major cuts rather, which could mean shortages. We got team coverage of you for all these issues tonight. Tom Rousey's covering Metro, and Brianne Carter is on MARC and VRE tonight. So let's begin with Brianne. She is in Arlington with more on what's going to be a real pressure point for the commuters in that area. Brianne?
Well, Leon, just to give you an idea of how much people rely on this, just in the last half hour here at this Crystal City VRE station, we've seen hundreds of people, even women, just running to the train saying, please hold that train, so they don't have to wait any longer to get home after a long day of work. But that's exactly what they could have to do if some have to hop back on the road. Commuting concerns tonight for thousands upon thousands of riders who rely on these rails that at the start of the new year, they could have to find another way to get to and from work.
Then it'll be a terrible thing.
VRE and MARC officials tell ABC7 they potentially could have to stop service if Congress doesn't extend the December 31st deadline to install new safety technology. The technology, known as positive train control, will detect a locomotive's location and speed and adjust to prevent collisions. VRE and MARC officials say the technology will be on the trains by year's end, but it won't be on some of the tracks. The tracks are owned by others, like Amtrak, CSX, and Norfolk Southern. While Amtrak says they will be done installing PTC by the deadline, CSX says they will still need additional time.
Oh, it would be a major impact. It would be a major impact on the people that live in where we do in Manassas and Gainesville, but I can't imagine the impact it would be on the people in Fredericksburg.
This woman says she relocated to Fredericksburg knowing she could take VRE every day.
It would definitely create some sort of hassle. I'd have to figure it out, but I guess the only alternative would be to drive or to slug.
Now, speaking to CSX officials, they say that this is not for a lack of effort, that they have been working on this and spent billions of dollars in the technology. They just don't want to put it on the system until it is safe. They say they don't want to have to create another risk there on the rails. Now, we do understand that Congress could make an extension sometime ahead of that deadline. Reporting live, Brianne Carter, ABC7 News.
Thank you, Brianne. If VRE and MARC are forced to suspend service, that will really mean a crush of drivers on the roads and more riders on Metro. But the transit agency may have to make some service cuts of its own. Our Tom Rousey is covering Metro live from Judiciary Square tonight. Tom?
Well, at a meeting today, Metro said this is a balancing act. If you spend too much time worrying about passengers, safety suffers. But if you worry too much about safety, passengers suffer a lot. They say it needs to be a balance, but Metro may need to err a little more on the side of safety. That means track work.
The right balance between safety and service.
This morning, the acting head of the Federal Transit Administration told Metro it has to find more time for its crews to do safety work. This afternoon, Metro responded.
Safety comes first. You will see, we'll see more single tracking.
Metro says not only is it trying to catch up on maintaining the system, but after January's tragic smoke problem, it has to do new safety measures like waterproofing power cables. That means more track work. Although final decisions haven't been made, Metro says what's on the table is single tracking overnight starting as early as 8 p.m., more midday track work, and still more weekend work. What's largely off the table is scheduled single tracking during rush hour and the idea of closing whole lines for a long period of time. Midday passengers we talked to worry about more single tracking during the day.
Very upsetting because I'm in a rush right now trying to get back to my job, and I know waiting for another train is counterproductive.
If it's going to be in the middle of the day, I'm glad they're worried about our safety, but I'm going to have to find a different way to get to work.
Others want to see much more done about safety.
You doing the single tracking, okay, but come on, we on the trains with no safety.
You
you see folks waiting here at Judiciary Square to get on the red line during this rush hour. Now, as far as what the last lady you heard in the story, Dee Dee, said right there, regarding that, the acting administrator for the FTA said also today that Metro does need to do more training of its employees on how to handle emergency situations. Reporting live at Judiciary Square in Northwest, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.
Thank you, Tom.